Welcome to Flip Classroom. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the grading contract. So the first thing I want to emphasize are there are no points and no percentages in this class. So you don't need to ask, how many points is that worth? What's my grade in the class? The answer for what's my grade in the class is always going to be, you have a B in the class. Let me explain. The default grade in this class is a B. So basically, if you do all that's asked of you in the manner that it's asked, I guarantee you a B in this class. And the manner that I ask isn't even perfection. So if you look at it, for example, your thesis needs to be apparent, not perfect. The essay shows a basic understanding, not an exceptional understanding. The essay may contain some errors. Absolutely, perfection is not expected. And the essay displays awareness of MLA, not full knowledge mastery of MLA format. So the grading contract will work for you. All you need to do is to complete your reading assignments and participate in the discussions, which are the blogs. Complete your online activities, exams, such as final exams and midterm exams, your readings, your writing assignments. Submit a complete draft for each peer review. Notice it says submit a complete draft. It doesn't have to be perfect. And help your classmates improve their writing. And the way you do that is during peer reviews, you give them genuine and thoughtful feedback, not just, looks good. And revise each essay until it meets minimum standards. And again, the minimum standards are not perfection. I heard somebody going, well, great. A B is above average. C is average. B is above average. But I'm the kind of student, I'm an A student. I'm far above average. I'm an exemplary student. You know what? I have that for you too. Those exemplary students, the ones that are not just average, above average, but go above and beyond students will write an annotated bibliography. That's due near the end of the semester. It's nothing to worry about now. It's part of the research paper. You also write revision plans for your essays. These are just one paragraph in length explaining that you read the feedback that I gave on your essay and now you're ready to revise it. And then the last day of class, we're talking the end of May, you write 2 pages reflecting on the class, what you've learned, what you liked and disliked. These are metacognitive activities and research activities that are very high level. And that's what A students do. They go above and beyond. The annotated bibliography it takes about 4 to 6 hours of extra work. Revision plans take about 20, 30 minutes each. And the reflection essay might take you an hour. So we're talking about an A student doing about 8 hours more work than an above average student, or definitely an average student. Let's take a look at how to explain this. An A student would do 8 blogs. Those are the homework assignments. 8 pre-writing assignments, 5 peer reviews, and 4 of your final draft essays meet expectations. You'd pass your midterm and final exam, and you'd pass your annotated bibliography, reflection essay, revision plans. Okay? And if you look at this, you only need to do 8 blogs. That means twice you can skip your homework and get an A. You only need to do 8 pre-writing. That means twice you can skip pre-writing. Twice you can skip your homework, still get an A. 5 complete essay drafts. There's 6 in total. So one of them, you can skip it, whether you're sick or you just needed a day off from school. Yes, all your essays do. There are 4 essays by the end of the semester, and they do all need to meet expectations, but you get to rewrite them to do that. And of course, passing your midterm and final exam. But you might look at this and say, hey, wait, A and B are identical. Pretty much. They're very close. So the only difference between an A and a B is, one, you get to skip 2 peer reviews. That's 2 big assignments. And the other one, I'm sorry, you get to skip 2 peer reviews. So you might be noticing the A and B are very, very similar. The only difference is you do not need to do the annotated bibliography, reflection essay, or revision plans. Other than that, an A and B are the same. Now, what happens if you skip 3 blogs? Okay, you're doing a lot less homework. Your grade will drop to a C. Same thing if you're starting to miss a lot of pre-writing or peer reviews. So if you start missing assignments, your grades will drop. But again, it says you have to do 7 blocks. There are 10 in total. I'm letting you miss 3 of them 3 times to get your homework before your grade actually drops down to a C. And of course, we don't want to think about a C or D, but they do exist. If you only do 5 out of 10 blocks, that's half your assignments. If you only do half your assignments, that does equal an F. That is not passing. But before you worry about a C, D, or an F, because remember the default grade is a B, I want you to look at this little triangle here. This little triangle says, if you go above and beyond the contract requirements by thoroughly revising all final drafts right here, if you make those final drafts, you thoroughly revise them, you go above and beyond those minimum standards, I can mitigate these lapses. I can overlook those missing assignments from earlier in the semester, such as the pre-writing and the peer reviews and the blogs, if at the very end, your final draft essays go above and beyond. We'll talk about that later because for now, everybody is shooting for the default grade of a B, or even better, going above and beyond and being an A student. Now, you might ask why I would do this. Well, it is an anti-racist assessment practice. As you might know, or you might have felt in the past, that when you write an essay, you might feel like, I need to please the professor, or the professor's looking for something. This takes away all those fears, okay? It creates the grades create a fear of failure and lets you not want to take risks. I want you to take risks. I don't want you to be afraid. I want you to share your opinions, even if they're completely different than mine. I want you to feel it's okay to make a mistake and you can revise it. If you're worried about grades, that doesn't happen. Most of the time outside of school, you don't get grades. People don't grade you on how well you take care of your dog. I hope you all get A's though, or your marriage, or how well you wash your car, or how great you are in the environment. Grades are just something we do in school. It's not really accurate. They're very unpredictable of success. Okay, there are reasons sometimes students turn in work late, and it doesn't mean they don't have the skills. So basing a grade really doesn't equate to success. It decreases intrinsic motivation for learning. In this class, you are not going to worry about grades. You're only going to think about, I want to learn, I want to evolve, I want to improve. So all that fear and worrying of grading, put it behind you because you're not going to get points or percentages or any of those random numbers. It leads you to think about pleasing the teacher. I'm not sure if you've ever had an experience where you got 82% on your essay, which is a B minus, and the person sitting next to you got 84% on the essay. Just 2 percentages difference, but one is a B minus and one is a B. And you might say to yourself, but our essays weren't that different. Well, there could be some bias on the part of an English professor. This removes all that bias. So there isn't an 82% or an 84% or 5 points or 7 points. There are no points and percentages. That takes away those biases that professors can have. And it's either you meet the expectation or you don't meet it. And if you don't meet it, you revise it until you can meet it. Okay, so those are kind of the ideas behind a grading contract. Prevents those bias. It is an anti-racist assessment practice. It gets you to focus on learning more than grades. This can be a new concept for many of you. So please reach out and ask me questions. And when you look at your grade book, all assignments are worth 0. So it's going to look like you don't have grades. You're going to have words like excellent and satisfactory and meet expectations. When you write your essays, you're going to get feedback from me. For example, on your thesis statement, I might say, expand your thesis statement. Or I might say, add a transition between sentences or cite your sources. So you're going to get feedback from me telling you how to improve instead of some random number or percentage grading your writing. That's not what it is. We're trying to evolve and improve as readers, writers, and critical thinkers. Please reach out to me if you have any questions about this. My goal is to make this class relaxing and non-stressful, and that's another reason for the grading contract. Thank you for joining me today in Flipped Classroom.